March kayaking tip. One thing I'm really thankful I did last time compared to this time is brought 2 pairs of old tennis shoes for river shoes. Because, you know, the water's still super duper cold, and that way you still have a dry pair. You got a pair you're able to get wet for getting in and out and loading and that kind of thing. For me, particularly too, making videos, it's especially helpful for creating the angles and stuff and not having to try to keep the one pair of shoes dry, but having a wet pair. I did this a week ago or so. At this fork, I went right. And that was where my first sandbar stop was, right there. And then it turned into like a 4-spot oasis on the other side of this island. So I'm going to take the left on this option. And it looks like it could potentially lead to a spot where you might get a little stuck and have to get out and put your feet in the water. But, which is fine, because I'm looking to land shank and rock hunt the space of this general coverage of Earth. I did not point my eyes heavily focused at the ground looking for agates in the past. I will do now. So yeah, this type of really shallow scraping type stuff, as I just got stuck on rocks. Floating a little less stretched things in general, and I'm down with that kind of challenge. In March, it's a little different attitude, but in this aspect, it's the rock hounding hobby thing. Like, I am out here to get to these sandbars you can only get to on the water, pretty much. You just find way more agates, and that's really fun. So here's this little crevassial area I was talking about. Looks like I should pretty much be able to scoot on through with a little one-handed paddle action. I need to remember to break my paddle in half when I do this kind of thing. But we'll keep living and learning as I do this. Hey, oh, hot potatoes. Alright, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Got a little drop off up here, then a rock bar to check off to the left. And anything in there rockable as well. Agates yet, we're going to start her off with a pretty neat looking fossil there. Still no agates. I've been looking for over 5 minutes. Not happy about that, but definite evidence of other human traffic. I think there it looks like a rock pulled out of a deep spot. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe I'm making excuses. But it is a pretty small space, but I'm also not used to getting skunked on this stretch. I've never ever done it, so I really don't want to on this tiny little space, but I might. The day is still youngish, but not young enough to put a whole lot of extra time into that thought, I don't think. But gosh, I hate getting skunked. I gotta find one. Right. I let about probably 3 more minutes of life pass before I spotted this tiny little thing for the tiny things. Spot of the collection. But definitely it looks like pretty clearly an agate to me. Oh yeah, cool line work around that circly thing you could spot right away. A little bit of line work back here, or kind of the maybe bigger piece of stuff chipped off or whatever. Okay, at least I didn't get skunked. I mean, I keep them all, so that's a keeper. Stretch of time there where I was not keeping them all, you know. Like tiny ones like that I might not have been down to look at because it's so small. But like once you have a couple of just tiny ones that starts getting fuller and fuller, you have much more desire to bend down and investigate if it is or not. Probably helps that I'm been laid off for several months, so like my body's not nearly as sore as when I'm doing manual labor all day, but I will take advantage of it as long as possible. Fucking kayaking, mid-60s as a high today. I might be disc golf boarding in 24 hours with possible snow in the forecast. I'll take what Mother Nature gives. We should have listened to Man Bear Pig, probably for sure, but I feel like these weird waves of winter-spring transitions now is a silver lining to be taken advantage of for a guy like me. Faux show, and I'm trying to do the most of that as I possibly can. A little piece of sparkly fossil here on the first stop still. kind of sparkling coral type, whatever, fossilized. Pulling in for my second rock hunting stop here. Cool spot. I just checked my map, and I think maybe largely thanks to paddling into the wind, as opposed to last time, I'm not going to be able to rock hunt as much time as possible if I still want to cook on the fire at the end. Got another kind of shiner, kind of your shiny coral fossil type stuff that'll get tossed on the little fire pit that gets fossil keepers that aren't at-home keepers, but are now definable as worthy enough to pick up and add as decoration to the fire pit at the cooking spot. Just found a pretty cool rock. It might be tiger, I can't remember what it's called. Tiger's eye, tiger's lily, tiger's paw, something like that. My friend Bev is into rocks too, and she would know, so I'll find out if it is in fact whatever the word I was thinking of accurately is. It definitely has tiger in it. Next to some more broken glass. That's a little sand timed over a little better. Looks like we got the first a little more substantial sized agate type find. When I say agate type, I mean I strongly hope it's an agate. Just spotted a fossil, and it certainly is. Not really line work, but very evident froggy, red, cratery, glassy skin kind of stuff throughout quite a bit. Potentially maybe a little bit of line work deeply in that space after cleaning. Because I am on pretty much just entirely rock-covered oasis here, it did take a second there to relocate the bigger piece of side fossil I spotted off there. Or side-spotted piece of that kind of, really that shiny, sparkly shit that comes off of these ones just really grabs your eyes in the sun as much, or probably significantly more so than an agate does. Alright, another extremely tiny, small agate find here. But like I was saying already, I do keep everything I find now to try and fill that cup of tinies. And for this video, I'm going to have to just include every tiny little thing, because I think that's only, agate number 3 so far. And I'm like actually getting close to the point where I'm going to have to focus more on paddling down the river to get to the place to cook on the fire before it gets pitch dark and stuff. So yeah, every tiny chip will be included this time in the video. Always is kept these days in this critter's life, but not always kept in the video usually for like little skanks like that ain't even worth trying to get a picture of. Alright, another skank grab. Even though they're teeny tinies, at least they're starting to fall into place one after another. I had to walk to the entire other end of this huge fucking sandbar for them to start falling in. Is it my eyes? Is it the presence? I don't know what it is. But I know I'm happy I'm not getting skunked. I'm not super stoked. I'm not easily finding them quite as much as so. But I guess combined with other human rock hounding traffic, I just have been out on this area quite a bit in the last 2 years too. So it might be my own personal picking, which has a lot of specific relativity to skill level of findability and what I'm looking for within the same set of eyes of the same human vessel and shit. So I don't know, you know. Yeah, definitely a lot of headwind, right upriver blowing wind. Kayak's not even moving at this point. I mean, it's a stretch of particularly you can't move if you don't paddle, but that is an aspect I was not expecting. It's all good. I got plenty of planning ahead, well done, and plenty of time to still get there, cook on a fire. Hopefully find a significant number of agates, some more still, or at least a few goodies. And then it's burrito time. Alright, here's another one as she lies on my next stop here. Yep, definitely certainly is. You pretty much tell right off the bat because the way it just shines through it like red glass. And you kind of had your froggy cratery skin showing as well. All right, another find here. You can tell the outside kind of has your cratery reddish skin you're looking for. Then when I observed it for the first time, I looked at this side here and thought, oh, that looks pretty churty. I don't know. The specific area made it look a little chert-like, although the outer crestial kind of looked agate. So just a little look, with just a little bit of a lick on that spot that looked potentially chert-like. Easily definable agate lines made it no longer a question, although it basically already wasn't, because both of the outer sides here very easily definable that it is. It's a pretty big fossil hunk. That'll look pretty cool on a fire pit. That'll let people know, hey, this guy's got a fire pit he made and it has fossils on it. All right, and just picked up another rock that in this bright sunny sky is so translucent it's hard to define if maybe it is in fact or not. I think it most likely certainly is. And you definitely got a visible patch of your froggy cratery skin right there outside. Basically the rest of it is translucent to see through. Like it's not really quartz looking, so it's like maybe it's probably agate, maybe it could be chert or a sex agate, like just a fucking rock, like a rock that you fuck. But I think this one's agate. Whilst still on that knee, spotted a little piece of potentially likely honey agate, I think. Tiny little chipper, but a beaut. Did not even have to get off that knee to see her from there to there. And yeah, so things are starting to fall into place like they should be. The sun's still that high in the sky, so this is great. I mean, I'm going to have to focus on paddling. The thing that sucks is once you get on the water, you have to focus on paddling or you get blown upriver. Nice kind of littler piece here. First find on this particular stop. Line work details through some of that space are pretty neat, particularly on that. Looks like a slab, a pretty good sized fossil here. Oh yeah. That'll attribute to the fire pit nicely. Based on time and daylight left, I'm going to only probably stop once, maybe twice more before I get to the sandbar with the cooking spot, so I don't get caught like out in pitch darkness after that. So that being said, I'm going to transport some bigger pieces of chert now that I find on this stop and this next stop down for just some more base of trying to get that fire pit of a more permanent thing. So you can see here a little bit of my fossil flare previously mentioned on the mainly chert fire pit here. And what's also really cool is like the pieces that have previously had like been deep in the burn pit or whatever, as it kind of continues to form to be a permanent fire pit type shape, hopefully, is that they like turn red from orange after being burned, which is like cool as it continues to form. To see that sprinkled throughout. Yeah. That one bigger fossil hunk I found earlier. I'm just kind of whatever with him now, because a lot of times I use the rocks to kind of reshape what I need to do too. But some more fossil flare here found on the floating trip. Just kind of do that for now. That one, the cool swirly, is going to be a bring homer. The rest are going in the pit, but that's going to be a bring homer. Check cha cha, and the next one or something. just find a tiny agate chip about right there, which was pretty neat. Wasn't even thinking about agates for the last hour or so, and there was one. I mean, a tiny baby, but, you know, I like them tiny babies for that tiny baby cup.